Yes. Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Johnson City, Tennessee. That is Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Virginia, and now Proficient Nail Academy, downtown JC. Spreading love. They say it's the Johnson City way, the Tri-City way. It is. But one of the only way to spread love is the Crown Cutz way. Pow. Yes, sir. Today we got a banging episode for you, but before we do that, I'm going to introduce my co-host with the most, and we got some special guests on set to drop some knowledge. Who's going to put the pads on first?
I'll go first. Go to bar for Bristol, Tennessee. J Bob on Instagram. Hope everybody's doing good today.
Am Fields, Am your barber? Am's Barbershop, Marion, Virginia.
Yes, and guests, introduce yourself.
I'm Dante Brown. I'm from Whitfield, Virginia. Instagram, DB2Faded.
And I'm Jess Shepherd from Johnson City, Tennessee. And my Instagram is jshepard423.
A barber, a new instructor. Hey, that's big.
It's a lot more than I expected it to be, but in a lot of good ways.
That's good. That's good. Excuse me. Today we're going to talk about female barbers. We're going to have two shows back to back talking about giving the women in this industry their just due, showing them the love that they deserve. We're going to talk about female barbers. What do you guys think about female barbers coming into this industry? I think like 40% of the new barbers right now in the industry are female barbers. I think that's a great thing.
When I first started, one of the barbers that inspired me the most was female, Stacy Stagel. I'm not sure. Is it Sophie or Stacy? Sophie.
Sophie.
Yeah.
She's
I loved her work, and I enjoyed watching her that Instagram. And because I wanted to fill my Instagram full of barbers when I first started, and she was one of my favorites. I always enjoyed watching.
I say Sophie and Nicole Renee. Nicole Renee is actually, both of them are two of my favorite barbers, and I watch them a lot. Especially when it comes to Sophie, she's very good at making content.
Right.
She stands out in her own way. Nicole, she has videos. She's just a dope barber. She's so clean. Like the way she fades is just very cool personality.
And I think it's good because every barber has their own style of fading. And sometimes just that touch of a female would kind of, it's almost like art. I mean, barbering is art. We all do it as art work. But one of my best female barbers that I like, she's an artist first off, and she paints. But she cuts hair like she paints. So it's not too many like sharp lines, but it's just more abstract lines. And I think she does a good job of that. And I like the way she does it because it's not, everybody thinks that you have to have sharp lines to have a good haircut. And I don't think you have to have sharp lines. I don't think so. Because everybody has their own style, but how she does it is just so unique. So today we're going to talk about just the love, just paying homage. And Jess, first coming into this industry, do you think you was going to have a challenge? What was going through your mind coming to this industry?
I mean, honestly, I didn't really know much about it at all because I was just cutting my brother's hair at home. So I didn't have a clue how huge it was and what all it could offer me, like as far as me being an instructor now. When I started barber school, I would have never thought that this is where I would end up now, you know? Like my vision was just really wanting to become really good at cutting all types of hair. It didn't matter if it was men's, women's, kids. Like I wanted to know it all. And then I wanted to get my own shop. Well, now I honestly don't want all of that responsibility.
Right.
I like being the instructor that can help people. And I'm learning more myself every day because I'm perfecting my skills and my craft. So,
which is a game changer, what you said. So, and giving people out there opportunity to think about not just being behind the chair, because there's so many more opportunities, which is a great point you brought up as exploring your possibilities of maybe being an instructor you might like. But that doesn't mean if you're an instructor, you still can't cut hair.
right.
But which is a great point. But as far as like coming into this industry, were there any challenges that you faced coming in this industry as a female barber?
I think it was just harder for me in general at first to get men in my chair because, a lot of men would prefer to get cut by another male, that they know was a good barber. So I really had to prove myself in that way. So that was pretty much the biggest challenge for me.
I mean, realistically, there are stereotypes in our industry.
Right.
And people, we walk around them sometimes like they're not there, but in reality there are. Until you prove yourself and establish yourself, you have to fight those stereotypes, whether it's being a female barber or maybe you're Caucasian barber and you're like, oh, you can't cut black people, or black people, vice versa. Black people can't use scissors. There's a boatload of stereotypes that come in the industry that I'm happy when I can see somebody break that mold and tear that down.
I mean, for sure. I mean, even I sit back and look at the NBA games, and we have women referees now.
Yeah,
I think that's so big. You
NFL too.
Yeah,
Last night, yeah,
and that's so big. You know what I mean? So our industry is an industry that I think it's going to just, by diversifying it in that way, it's just going to keep getting better, keep growing. And I love seeing women come into this industry. What do you think, Dante?
I think it's really dope. A lot of men, when you're cutting their hair, they're like, women can't cut, yada, yada, yada. I like it when somebody steps up and show they can do it.
I mean, and the thing is it's just a pair of clippers, just a tool. It's not like something, you know what I mean? So when you cast your sword or cast your fishing pole, I mean, it don't matter who's behind it. Is, you know what I mean? Is the work that you put in that is going to show up.
Right.
You know what I mean? What other, did you have any reservations? Do you think you're going to be really challenged coming into this industry as a female barber? Because I know you was in school and they were like, it was always competitive with a lot of guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a competitive person anyway, so I was my biggest challenge, I feel like, because no matter how good I got, I always felt like I could do better, and I was always tougher on myself. But
so if there's one thing you can say, right, to a female barber coming into this industry trying to pave her way, to just start, to learn one, and they want to cut hair, just to start, because a lot of women want to veer off from the cosmetology scene, and it's really the same thing, but they don't want to cut too much women. They really want to come on the other side and do more men. What is something that you could say to a female barber who's sitting at home thinking about trying to make that transformation and want to become a barber?
just to maybe think outside of the normal, and to do something different. That's what I love about it. Like, I don't, I want to be in a different scene than just surrounded by women. So you get a whole different vibe and a whole different atmosphere. And it's challenging too, it's not just doing color and having conversation. Like, it's a whole different experience being in a barbershop, I feel like. So being a woman in that, you bring a whole different vibe to the shop. And I think a lot of men appreciate that,
I think they do.
And the industry itself is really starting to just collide.
Right.
There's becoming less of like, go here for this, but more people are coming out skilled at doing all things.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter male, female, colorist, cosmetologist, barber. It's becoming one big. It's really becoming an industry. Like, I think it's really building itself up to become its own section of the world. It was there before, but even more so now. It's just a group of professionals that can do almost anything.
And what do you say about what is something that you could say to men barbers coming into the shop, not want to give a female an opportunity? What can you say to get them comfortable?
I mean, I feel like you want to be able to give yourself the opportunity to do all types of hair, because when you don't, you're not going to make as much money. You're limiting yourself. So I say to jump and take that chance.
No, I'm talking about a man who's coming into a barbershop and he sees a female, her chair is open. What can you say to him to get him comfortable to go in that female's chair?
I mean,
just give him a shot.
I mean, I'm just confident how I carry myself, I say that confidence is key, and how the barber carries himself. But if you're saying like just a customer,
Yeah.
how I would get him to sit in another female's chair.
Or what can you say to him to be like, yo, it's okay, because we bosses too. We gonna boss.
Oh,
you.
yeah. And that's basically what I do. I just show them that I'm confident in myself and my works. I don't.
You said you like to do all textures hair. Did you feel like you even had more of a boundary getting to like ethnic, like black people's hair, being a Caucasian female? Was that even tougher for you, or you felt like?
Well, I was nervous about it at first, honestly, but the more that I cut, I realized that it was easier for me than cutting Caucasian hair, in my opinion. So,
What do you think, Joel? I know you're sitting there with your hands in your pocket. You have some thoughts.
I'm trying to because I was thinking like if it was me and we had a female barber that was in and working with us, I feel like the shop. Should be the shop's opportunity, like, or try to like help push clientele towards her, like, you know, just to get her some reps in, so she can be even more comfortable being around men, like, you know, like just having men, or giving her a chance to get it, like the reps in.
I think it's a great opportunity for shop owners to kind of diversify their shop, because you add a totally different dimension in your shop. It helps your shop. I think it'll do nothing but good for your shop to have an array of different barbers, men, women, white, black. I don't think it really matters, you know, because the key for me is, as when someone comes into the shop, is you showing them that you're confident and letting them know, hey, I can cut your hair. I got this.
I can say something though. One difference for me as a female, like when a male is cutting my hair, some men are very rough
Right.
with the clippers and stuff, you know, and in your head in general. And a woman's haircut is different because she has soft hands
Right.
and a soft touch, so it's more comfortable for people once they realize that they sit in a woman's chair. You know, they realize that. So
And that's big, and that's something good. That's a good tip for people out there to hear. One of the key things for me when I was in school, and like clients come in, you come into a barber school for a cheap haircut, and you want to poke around the corner and see who's in there, or I don't want a female cut. And I was like, hey, she's cutting your hair today because we got a list, and she's up next. You ain't got a choice. So I give my female students confidence that would let them know, hey, if nobody's coming through that door is going to try to pick and choose between who they get. Whoever's up next, if it's 3 females up next, it's going to be 3 females cutting hair, because you here for an opportunity to learn how to cut hair and to give your best. And that kind of irks me sometimes when guys come in, and or even people come in with their little kids. Oh, I don't want a female barber. I'm like, you come into a school for a discount haircut.
yeah, you don't think about that too. Like, you're getting a cheaper haircut, so you shouldn't be that picky about it. You should give the person the opportunity regardless of if they're male or female.
Right.
And all the students that I had that were female barbers were bosses, all of them.
Of course.
Kendall was a boss and worked very hard and did everything, could do everything between long hair color and.
I learned from the best, Tish.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you guys know her? Do you know much about Tish Hurley? She's who I learned her from.
Yeah, Tish, blessed hands Tish. Shout out to Tish
She's in Knoxville?
in Morristown.
Morristown. Okay, yeah. I met her. She was in the competition, right? When you did the.
Oh, yeah.
She did a
I
design
was wondering where she went. I ain't seen that
And
walk.
Tish came in, she had the longer dress. And one of the things when she came in the first of the school, none of the other barber schools would give opportunity to come to school, because in her religion, she don't cut women's hair. And she said, Craig, I called all the schools, and she's a Caucasian female. She had long hair, a long jeans dress, and none of the other schools wanted to give her a shot. I'm like, come on, I'll give you a shot.
You said she doesn't cut females' hair in religion?
Well, her religion, she don't cut females' hair, and which is totally fine with me. I mean, if that's your religion, I have to respect that. And she,
Oh, like they don't receive haircuts at all?
no, she doesn't cut females' hair.
Okay.
She don't. That's her religion.
Yeah,
She's not.
she doesn't believe in females getting their hair cut.
That's what I meant. Like they don't get they don't get their hair cut. Yeah.
She is not cutting a female's hair. It's not her. She's not cutting females' hair at all.
Yeah.
It's not females in her religion, out her religion, female who's walking down the street, up the street, at the mall, wherever. If you come in as a female in her religion, it says we don't believe in that, so I can't do that. And I remember a lot of people used to judge her all the time. I was like, hey, she's cutting your hair. I remember one time this guy really offended her. He said some mean things. So I was like, I was so upset. And she maintained her composure. She brought me in the office, and she just like was so disappointed. And I was disappointed with her. She started tearing up. I'm like, yo, Tish, we got this. Let's go back out there and we cutting his hair. Nobody else gonna cut it. You gonna do this. I mean, and Tish is one of the best barbers, to the point where by the time she was finishing up school, she's getting requests and appointments, and people was kind of sad when she left. And I knew she had that in her, because this was her passion. This is what she wanted to do. And some people might deem her not looking like the prototype, what does a barber, but what does a barber look like?
Right.
What does a barber look like?
Right.
If you was blind and going into a shop or a school to get your hair cut, I mean, you might be able to tell by the touch, but some men have really soft touch. But you wouldn't know who's cutting your hair if you was blind. You'd just be getting all these compliments saying, you got a boss haircut, and like, who cut it? I don't know. You know what I mean? But everybody's saying it's a dope cut. You know what I mean? So you gotta give these women a chance, give them an opportunity to shine, because they are shining, they are dope.
I said I remember when Tish first came to, because you brought her to do help for the day one time in Bristol school, and she was telling me how she could do a fade without putting any lines in, and I was like, how you do a fade without putting
She's the
lines in?
boss.
And I was like, because she said she's down fades, and I was like, I didn't understand what that meant at the time, but she showed me some of her stuff. I was like, bro, she's nice, really nice. She's good.
I mean, she's sick with it. Yeah, she's really dope. I mean, she is next level. I mean, and typically you go into the shop, you see if she's in there with like, I know men will probably have reservations, but when they get up out her chair, they coming back for sure.
She crazy with the designs too.
Yep.
Like really good with the designs.
What do you think, Dante? Have you ever seen a female barber who grabs your attention before?
I mean, yeah, on Instagram and TikTok all the time. Whenever I'm on there just scrolling, I'm like, damn, she's dope.
And what do you think about that?
I think it's really cool, like just having that different person.
And that's a stigma that needs to be reduced because people typically will go around and still have that stigma. Oh, nah, I ain't going in there.
Like women can't cut hair.
Yeah,
this, that, and the third.
that stigma is dead.
I feel like we get the same for when girls want their haircut. Like if we're about to cut girls' hair, I feel like we get this stereotype that guys can't cut girls' hair.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I don't think
You don't think it's as bad?
I don't think it's as bad when people come in and they judging because it's a female barber. You know, because a lot of those hairstylists and salons, you see them. There are a lot of men out there doing that thing too, and some women much rather go to a man to do his haircut. You know what I mean?
That is true.
I mean, I would say statistically, it's probably more women doing men's haircuts than women.
Oh yeah,
Because you think about sports clips, supercuts, and these places like that. I think generally they go after female barbers or cosmetologists do it, and they're busting out cuts.
Oh yeah,
consistently.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I still just want to give that homage and be like, pay the homage and let people know that you don't beat yourself up and think that you can go in the shop and you're gonna get disappointed because hey, you will get laced. You're gonna get laced. You're gonna get nice. You're gonna sit in that chair. You'll be surprised how artistic and how great these women are doing bossing these cuts out.
And there are probably some females wanting to go into this industry and feel like they can only go into cosmetology, that they can't be a barber. So they choose to go to cosmetology, which is okay to be a barber. You could be a barber and give out fresh face, dope haircuts and still do everything.
I mean, there's some dudes giving me some jacked up haircuts.
Yeah.
So,
It's all about the person. It don't matter about who you are.
The work that you put in. And when you invested in your work, you'll see it. When you make
customer service too.
Your customer service.
Yeah.
When you're passionate about your skill. When that desire is burning inside of you, it don't matter who's behind those tools.
So what do you learn about becoming an instructor since you started being an instructor? What's something that you didn't realize, like when you became an instructor, you had to do, like you would have to do?
Well, I mean, it's not even that. It just, to me, I didn't realize how rewarding that it would be. You know, just realize in the short amount of time that I've been there, kids that have been like, "Hey, I have learned so much from you already. Thank you so much." Like, just that little bit alone, you know, makes me like really happy and makes me happy in what I'm doing and makes me realize it's where I belong, you know, because I was getting kind of stagnant just cutting hair. So this gives me an extra edge, you know, and something else to look forward to and something to grow in, you know.
And which goes to the next point. Now, a lot of barbers, they're in school and they complain, I don't have a barber teaching me. I don't have a male barber teaching me. And the stigma goes from the school to the shop, and it just continues. I'm like, I had a conversation with a lady today. She's like, you guys don't have that many male barbers, instructors. I'm like, we have some, majority of our instructors have always been women. And we still have boss barbers coming out.
Yeah, they respond to me well too because they know I have had that experience in the shop, you know, so they're very responsive and they listen to pretty much everything that I say and it shows, you know.
For sure. Yeah. So I believe in it. I believe in empowering and uplifting and growing from within. And it don't matter who it is, you know what I mean? As long if you say you can do the job, whether you cutting hair or teaching, if it's a female or a male, I will empower you.
So how long you been teaching now?
I think we're going into 2 months now that I've been at the school.
You're going to start seeing the students that come in that were scared to do anything, that didn't want to touch nobody, were hide from haircuts.
Right.
Those students are going to turn into the ones, they're like, nah, I don't need more cuts, man.
So this is where we're at. So the kids that I started with, they just did their first haircuts this past Saturday.
Yeah.
And they were pretty confident too. Like, yeah,
I mean,
I
but
was pretty proud of them.
I mean, but that shows from the work you've been putting in with them,
Yeah.
making them comfortable, understanding, yo, it's a process. It's going to take some time, and I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm gonna steer you right, and you just ride that bike. I will balance it out for you. Just do your thing. I got you. You can't fail with me next to you.
Confidence is key. You got to speak the confidence into them, you know, because you're going to make mistakes and you're going to mess up, but you're going to learn from it, and we can help you fix it. So, you know.
Yeah.
Well, as a barber, you almost have to mess up a haircut to get better.
Yeah. It's part of it.
I messed up a bunch of haircuts.
You have to.
Go ahead.
I said, bro, I did too. It's terrible.
I thought he was
My
gonna
heart dropped in my stomach. I was like,
But
game over.
No, but you care.
Yeah, I care.
If you didn't care, you would be like, man, peace, man.
Yeah.
I jacked you up. Oh, they go that line. You laugh about it. Peace. But you care. I mean, like you said, you feel that knot in your stomach.
Yeah.
That shows that you're invested in your craft. Anybody who doesn't feel that knot in their stomach when they mess up and do something bad, you're not in the craft for the right
I
reason.
remember one time I cut somebody. I think I told the story before. I cut somebody that was from France, and he was on a soccer team. He goes to King, and he showed me a picture of a haircut, and I was like, "Okay, so you want the fade?" Like I did the whole orientation, asked him over and over consultation, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I wanted the skin." And all
Was
that.
it in school?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in school.
No, not in school. It was in the barbershop, like the actual barbershop.
That's being honest.
Every time we tell a story from a different country.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But he was like, he showed me a picture of a bald fade, just a regular bald fade, and it was pretty not short on top, but you know. And he was like, "Yeah, I wanted the skin." I was like, "All right." So I gave him the fade, showed the mirror. His friends, like they were from where he was from too, or other countries, and they were laughing and I was like, "Oh snap!" He was like, "I was like, does it look good?" He was like, "Yeah." Like I was like, "Oh no, it don't look good." I could tell, but it looked good. It just wasn't. I guess he couldn't explain himself well enough for me to understand.
Yeah.
So it was really So it was like I felt horrible, and Kobe thought it was hilarious because I was over. It ruined my whole day. I was like, bro. I was still thinking about it even when I was climbing. I was like, bro, he hated that haircut.
Kobe would have cried in the car though. If it was him, he would have cried.
I was like, bro, this is horrible. I hate messing up. I hate not giving people what they want. It affects me because I care that much.
So which is a great point again. So from a female perspective, Jess, have you ever had a situation where you felt that you didn't do a desirable cut, and how did you feel and how did you respond to that?
I actually have felt that way before. I feel like it's happened to me a couple of times, like towards the end of the day after I've been cutting all day and I know that I didn't give the best cut that I could have. I know I reached out to that person and gave them a free cut the next time, you know. That's how I did it. But it was totally on me, and I was just, you know, drained and tired, and it wasn't that it was a bad cut. It just wasn't my best, and I knew that, so I said something to them before they said anything to me.
Yeah, because that's important, because just that customer service to reach out and know, hey man, this was on me. I jacked up. I ain't really do my best. So, you know, and that's an honorable move. And people need to do those honorable moves. And I know it's tough at times because you feel that you have to be extra better. Mm-hmm. You have to be extra on point. You feel that you have to be extra just because you're a female barber. And you shouldn't have to feel that way. It's just, hey, you're human.
Yeah, I'm an OCD and meticulous person anyway. So,
right.
So starting out, it did take me a really long time to do a fade. But once I found my groove, I was good to go. But yeah, starting out, it would take me a good hour and a half to do a haircut.
It used to take me 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 2-3 hours in the chair.
Yeah, and then I had one and never came back.
Overthinking everything. Yeah.
I'm OCD as well, so it's okay. I know exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I get sweaty when a cut ain't turned out like how I want it, how I think it's gonna turn out. Like right to the end, I start sweating. I'm like, and I look like I can feel myself sweating. I'm like, oh man, and it always works out most of the time.
But you hold your composure and you get through it.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. I can't crack. They don't never know.
Oh yeah.
So Dante, you're in an apprentice program. How much longer do you have?
So I completed the hours and schoolwork. I'm just waiting on the test out.
Okay. And when is that coming?
I tried to get in touch with them about it, and they still haven't got back.
So during your apprenticeship, have you had one of those situations where you just how did you handle that with the customer when you felt like you didn't give your best?
Like first starting out or like.
Starting out now, whenever.
You still feel like that. There's still times
Yeah, I
you
was gonna say, I
like
still
that.
feel like it sometimes.
So how did you handle the situation? Did you reach out to him? Did you talk to him? How would you handle the situation? Or how did you?
I just tell him, I'm like, come back and I'll do it again. Try to do my best next time.
Just to be as open and honest
Right.
as possible.
He's about, look, bro, I'm still learning. It's obviously it takes more than one haircut
Yeah, for sure.
for you to understand somebody's head shape or like the way the hair grows. So obviously it's not gonna be the best the first time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you, by
Or
the
the second
second or
time.
third time,
Yeah.
yeah, you're usually straight.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I think like the second or third time, like you said.
There's some people I won't even get until like the fifth or sixth time because their hair is so it might be so crazy. You might find it like a different way that compared to other people's way. You figure out how to cut their hair.
When you
right
get
way.
it though, and you feel it,
yeah,
feel
like,
it.
yeah,
you
that's
like,
what's it.
That's the one.
Yeah,
You
it don't
tell
look
them
no
that.
different. I'm like, oh yeah, it does.
So getting to that point, that's why the things like the little soft skills, your customer service, the relationship, your experience with that person sitting up has to be 100.
Yeah.
You can't control if you can't control after a while your haircut situation, but the things that you know that's undefeated that you always going to do well, like you should always do well, your consultation, your customer service, that environment, that experience that you're giving people, it should be 100% every time.
You should always style the hair too. I feel like you should style the hair when you first start, just to kind of like get you like just to let them know you know what they're thinking for the most part. I think you should always try to style the hair when you first start cutting hair. Even if you're cutting all that, you style it up for them, make it look good and make it feel good.
Usually I'll even style it the top before I even start the fade on the sides. So I'll come in and do the scissors on top, style it, and then I'll come in and do the fade on the side. So that I won't have to worry about it later on.
Okay.
They already see what it looks like kind of on top.
Yeah, because it bothers me when I go to get a haircut and they don't even style the top of my hair when I feel like it's not finished. You know, I'm like, are you going to finish now?
Right.
Put some water in it.
Get rid of things dry or something.
So what's the best way for a client to approach that in you guys' mind? Because you said, because I don't think barbers understand the whole dynamic from the beginning to the end. You have to almost see the end of the movie, understand what the end of the movie is like. So with your experience of cutting so many different heads, you should have a case study of a person coming to sit down in your chair from your experience. And that just takes time. That just takes time through repetition and your experience. Mm-hmm. So how do you combat that? How do you explain to barbers how to get the client, how to make the client satisfied?
Well, first, knowing their name. First, if you're doing appointments, I'll look at the name or ask them their name. You know their name. Hey, what's up? Call them by name. So immediately they feel like, okay, this person values me at least to know my name. Then you ask them what they want. Talk to them about their haircut. Whether or not you're 100% there in your career to give them exactly what they want, ask them what they want. Bring attentions to their head, like your crown. There's certain things that are, oh, you got a cowlick here.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
yeah, nobody ever noticed that. You know, so people know. I knew I had that. Right. So you sound like a professional. You know what you're talking about. Then if you can, when I first started cutting hair, I wasn't great at the conversation, but you want to try to talk to your client while you cut their hair. For me, when I first started, it was like, okay, we can either have a 2 hour, we have a 45 or hour minute haircut, or we can have a 2 hour haircut and we can talk. So try to have a conversation, get to know the person, and actually listen to them. Don't hit them with the "wow, that's crazy." You know, like that's not going to keep people coming back.
For real?
Yeah, exactly. I've done that before too. So make them feel valued in their conversation. Style their hair up. You know, make it look good. Thank them for coming, and tell them that they're appreciated. You know, and
follow through.
Yeah, and then you know try to communicate with them later on if you see them in person. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. And then that's how you build clientele, because your haircuts aren't always going to be A1 when you first get them. And then also try to remember that most people don't know crap about hair. And when they look in the mirror, they, you know, if I look at that wall, I'm looking at a brick wall. But contractor comes in here, he's looking at it like, oh, that thing is, you know, this by this and whatever. So they look at things different than we look at it.
So, and you have something to say, Jay?
Well, I was going to say that if people don't know, like say if you're styling on top and you don't feel comfortable or know the style, I'll ask the client if they usually style their hair and how they like to style it, and I'll have them do it themselves. And you can kind of mock, I guess. It kind of makes you remember the way that they like their hair, so that way you can do it yourself. later on. I feel like that's it.
That's why consultation is the most important part of the haircut. The consultation is the most important part of it. And take some time in the consultation. Don't just run through it like you said. Take some time, but also to the next level, have a little reference point. Have a little notepad or even something in your phone that you can log your client, your previous client, see what they liked, what they didn't like before. And you pull up their sheet or whatever, the data sheet that you have is, you know what, I did this last time, I did that last time, I did this. You might think you'll remember it, but a lot of times you forget because in the day where you have 10, 15 people coming through, you cutting the hair, you're trying to get through those haircuts instead of just trying to make it an experience. And through the consultation and recording a log or something of that individual person haircut, you're gonna give them exactly what they want. Because a lot of people leave from a service with not being satisfied.
And it's probably because the customer service was weak. It wasn't because the haircut was. Some people, obviously, you get enough haircuts from professionals that you're going to notice when the haircut ain't on point. But a lot of times, it's just like the dude was late, or he or she was late, or smelled like weed, or had headphones in the whole time they cut my hair, or they're heavy-handed, they hurt me, things like that. Those things stick out a lot more than just a mediocre haircut, in my opinion.
And talking about
100%. I agree.
And the soft skills. So we talked about before we came on the set, we talked about your brother. You want to talk about your brother a little bit, Jess?
My younger brother is Matthew. He has Down syndrome, and he is probably the most happy person that I've been around in my life. He just really brightens up any room that he walks in. He makes people feel important and noticed and loved, and he always makes like my dark days a lot brighter just by being himself,
And the reason I brought that up is because we mentioned talking about soft skills. If you want to learn soft skills and you want to exemplify or protrude or project what soft skill is, talk to someone who has Down syndrome. They never have a bad day. Get to know, get around some people who are at the Special Olympics. That can help improve your soft skills because those guys are always happy.
Define soft skills for the listeners, Craig.
Soft skills, good morning. We're getting people to smile. Taking your time to know somebody's their name and pronouncing the name every time you meet them.
Remembering things about them.
Things about them. Being polite. Those little things that people take for granted. When someone comes into your shop, say hello. Don't turn your back. Every barber should say hello when someone walks into a barber shop. Everyone. I mean, you should let that person know, hey, even if they come into, you're not their client, but that client you, that person who they make the appointment with, you appreciate them just patronizing that barber in your shop.
I thought about the movie Barbershop when what's his name he wanted to change some rules. He said everybody come in the shop. You got to greet everybody come in the shop. And they walked in and everybody stopped when they were cutting like, hey, and the dude was like, he just paused like this is weird, and then he left it like bye.
I mean, but it's how you say it too. You don't just try to be in a condescending way like, hey, good morning, how you doing? Thanks for coming into Maypop Media Barbershop.
Maypop Media Shop.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, and just smiling. And like I said, I've known Matthew for a long time, and I've never seen Matthew have a good day. I mean, I'm sorry, a bad day. He always comes in and like happy to be like, teacher, how you doing? How he greets you, and I don't know who taught him this, but he extends his hand and want to shake your hand.
That was
every
you?
time.
That's all you?
You know what I mean? Things like that. He always comes with like both hands. Most people come with one. He comes with both hands and welcome you in.
He will shake your hand or he will hug you if he knows you.
He comes in with both. Those things are soft skills. Hey, how you doing? And that's his thing every time with a smile. I mean, he gives his sister a hard time because last week he wanted to watch WWE and she's at the school and he's like, he saw me and when he sees me, he lights up. He's like, but then he seen his eyes just got, he's like, WWE. And sister, she's taking the time, and we got to do this. I don't want to be late.
I had haircuts after school, and he wanted to go home to watch wrestling that was on, and he was tired of it, so he was throwing a little temper fit.
Who's his wrestler? Who's he like the most?
what's his name? Roman Reigns.
I knew you would say Roman Reigns. That's the only one I like now.
Yeah, that's his favorite.
But yeah, if you're a barber or someone wants to learn soft skills, go volunteer at the Special Olympics because it will change your perspective of how to approach, how to treat people.
It's just unconditional love. Like that's basically what it boils down to, you know. And everybody knows unconditional love, but a true unconditional love, like he doesn't judge anyone, you know.
At all.
He loves everyone. I won't say exactly the same because I do believe he puts me a little bit higher than everyone else. But I mean, other than that, he treats everyone exactly the same, and it rubs off on you after being around someone like that for a while.
We got him his own name tag, and I came into school. He couldn't wait to show me his name tag. He's like, teacher.
Which
It
is
says greeter on it.
which is a good lesson for the podcast. It's like we treat everybody the same. You treat everybody the same. We're all students. We're all trying to grow. We're all professionals. You know, whether male, female, you know, black, white, whatever. Like we are all trying to be the best that we can be and grow in this industry and make some money. We're trying to make a living for ourselves. So that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
And it's going to happen. But those little things, the values, the etiquette, and not talking bad about other barbers. And that's an etiquette rule most barbers understand. You don't talk bad about barbers, no matter who it is. That's
No matter anybody.
You should never talk about another barber.
But you look at me funny.
You should. That's the etiquette rule.
I can say something else about your etiquette thing that you taught me recently, and it's made a difference in my consultation with my clients is like my pitch and my tone with people, because sometimes when I'm aggravated, it shows through my voice and I don't realize it, you know, until someone else is like, hey, are you having a bad day or something? I wasn't thinking about it. I just, you know, but now I think about it and it has made a big difference, honestly.
Subtle things like that. And that's soft skills.
Yeah.
Your pitch, your tone, how you open, your close, your arms closed when the client comes in. Show some gratitude, because people might think that you're not receptive or won't even want to cut hair. If your arms are closed, your legs are closed, you're sitting in the chair, you sloop down. People notice subtle things like that.
And most people might not be anything about it, but they don't realize that how powerful that that those little things project yourself. And even if you might have any of those feelings towards this person, but if you walk into a business and nobody says hello to you, and the person that's sitting right there with nothing to do, just sitting there with his arms crossed, and he might be thinking about his whole life. You know, he might have something going on at home, but if their first initial reaction is that, they're like, I don't even want to be here. They don't want me here. Why do I want to be here?
Yeah.
I think every student should pick that up first before they even go through that 200 hours.
The mannerism class.
The mannerism class, ethics, values, the soft skills. Smile and learn how to be open, not so closed when you greet clients. Working on your tone, working on your pitch. All those things are things that should be developed in your first 150, 200 hours before you even touch the floor with your kit, before those clippers get in your hand. But so students are just so ready to jump out on the floor. It's going to come. The haircut is going to come. You are going to be a good barber. But are you going to be able to have those soft skills? Are you going to be able to give people, your clients, an experience? Are you going to be able to have a good consultation? Are you just going to be able to be a friendly, good person for this industry? Are you going to be ready for that floor? The clippers doesn't make you be ready for that floor. Clippers in your hand is not going to make you be ready for the floor. The clippers in your hand is not going to make you the best barber. Indulging on those skills, the soft skills, the customer service, thinking about how you're going to give the client an experience, that's going to prepare you for the floor. After a while, those clippers in your hand, it's just repetition. You're going to get good. A fade is going to be a fade.
How do you set yourself apart with that, Dante? What do you do? Do you make a point to do any of those things when you cut people's hair?
Like when they first come in?
Yeah.
Like I greet everybody as soon as they walk in. Talking to them. Yeah.
And again, greeting is just not, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Smile.
Yeah, I'm smiling like, hey, how you doing?
Project confidence. Because people are watching when they walk into the shop, walk into the school. Who's the best barber? Even they come with that, and that is disrespectful when someone comes in. Who's the best barber in here?
I've been in those situations. Who does the best fade?
But don't let that offend you. Don't let that offend you. You stay with calmness. Hey, we all good. If you want to fade, you're going to get blessed.
That's all you can do.
I remember when when I was at Handcrafted, a dude came in. He's like, "Yo, who nice with the fades?" Everybody just like turned up the clippers. Was like, I don't know. Somebody was like, hey, "We all nice. Like we don't really.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what to
that's why
say.
we're here.
Yeah, like we don't know what to say. Like, yeah, just go to anybody." And he was like, "No, like I really mean nice." And we're just like, "Yeah, everybody's in here is good. Like, just go to anybody." So it's
For me, the line I use, I don't make it into a jest. I don't get offended. I just look at people and open my hands. I said, these hands are blessed. So you make the decision after that with a smile. These hands are blessed.
Bless and Craig.
That's it.
blessing.
Yeah, these hands are blessed. And you sit down in the chair, you're going to get blessed. Keep it subtle like that. I don't get offended at all. And you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You should always want to help out your people, other people there too. Don't be like
Even
try to single
when-
anybody out or like
When they go high, you don't have to go higher than them. You just say, let them. That's how they feel. When they get up, they're gonna come back. Well, you sit in my chair. After you get up, you coming back.
because I've there's been multiple times where there'll be Kobe. Me and Kobe is up front and they'll come in. They're like, yeah, I'll wait on him. I'm like, but I'm booked today, so I mean, you can go to Kobe or anybody else we have in here. And they're like, well, can you cut black people hair? And I'm like, yeah, Kobe's nice. I'm like, Kobe's real nice.
There's more of that stereotype.
Yeah, and I mean, just part. I mean, you got to help. You got to help build your people, like the people that you're with in the shop as well. You want to be able to push them out. I'm like, yo, he can get you right. Like I've been multiple times. I'm like, bro, if he does better in your haircut, I'll pay for it.
But at the same time, now the barber has to be confident too.
Yeah,
Not sitting
and Kobe
down.
does. Yeah,
You don't sit down on your phone and slouching, and you have to be confident and stand firm.
That happened to me the other day. I was cutting a couple guys. They were Emory students. They play soccer. And dude came in, and one dude had an afro. And he had an appointment next. And he's like, hey, man, can you cut this kind of hair? I was like, what do you mean? He's like my hair. I was like, you mean black people hair? He's like, yeah. I was like, nah, I can't. I've never done that. And he's like, really? I'm like, no, I got you, bro. Here's how somebody asks that. I always play off like I can't.
I mean, no doubt. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the podcast today?
This is a dope podcast. I'm glad I got to meet Jess. First time
Very
meeting her.
nice meeting you all.
I thought I met you last time we was at the. Well, you weren't there at the barber competition, at the city barber competition.
Okay, yeah, I did meet you then. Yeah.
that's what I thought.
I think you threw me off with the toboggan because
He probably
I
had
think you were just wearing a hat
yeah.
before. Yeah,
and a Dennis Rodman shirt.
maybe.
Yeah,
What do you think, Dante? What do you think about the podcast today? How'd you feel?
I think it's really dope. I learned a lot just being here.
What'd you learn today?
Just like more skills.
Soft skills.
Yes, sir.
It's big. Hey, dog, what you think, man?
That's so dope, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I get to meet Jess. I'm glad Dante's here. Glad to see y'all. Mitch.
Yep.
It's always a pleasure to come up here. I don't take it for granted.
Mr. Maypop. Again, shout out to Maypop, one of the top studios in the podcast industry. If you try and get into the podcast game, reach out to my guy, Mitch. Money making Mitch.
You got a bodybuilding page
one
coming
of the
soon.
buffest dudes you ever see in your life.
I'm gonna be trying out for the East Tennessee Valkyrie.
Oh.
So I'm trying out next Saturday. So
That's big.
hopefully I'll make the team and I'll be able to give you updates on that.
Oh, that's big. So East Tennessee Valkyrie is the women's football league,
Okay.
It's tackle football.
tackle football. So yeah, matter of fact, we're gonna support them. We're gonna put the Crown Cutz patch in their jerseys.
Y'all remember Sandra?
Pool.
Yeah.
She played in that,
Yeah.
and I didn't. She posted a picture the other day. It caught me so off guard. And I was like, "What?"
They're swole too.
Yeah, I was like, "Bro, what? That's
Sandra's
crazy."
the nail tech.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's my cousin, so
Okay. Yep. She's German, right?
Well,
She's German, I think.
she has a whole bunch of different ethnicities. I don't even know.
But that's big though, Jess. Yeah, congratulations.
Trying
on
to
that.
keep myself in shape.
What position?
I honestly don't know.
You just
I'm
gonna go.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
going for
It's
it.
gonna be
Back.
fun. Kaya and her sister plays, right?
No, Dre.
Just Dre.
Yeah.
Yep. They both dope. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come check y'all out. We're gonna come support you guys. Yeah, we're gonna see how we can sponsor the team too, man. But you gotta make it first, Jess.
I think I got this.
I know you do. So before we get off the show, what kind of advice would you give to a barber out there who's a female looking to come into this industry as a barber, and then the next level as far as like coming into the industry as being an instructor? Because I think a lot of female barbers have a lot to give.
I think
And
as a
both sides.
female, just don't be afraid. Just step out of there, get out of your comfort zone, and just do it because you're gonna love it. Like, this has been the best decision that I've made, honestly. Like, I feel happy. I don't feel like I'm at work. You know, it's not a job to me. It's something that I'm passionate about and I enjoy every day. So I feel like everybody deserves to feel that way. You know,
Oh, of course. I mean, it shouldn't be monotonous. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be like a chore.
I wish I would have done it sooner. Honestly,
Right.
I wish I wouldn't have waited so long. But I mean, and then as far as the instructors thing, if you're good at teaching and you're good at talking to people, and I mean, I think it's great, like for someone like myself, because like I said, I got stagnant just cutting hair every day. You know, I got bored with it. So this is a way for me to open up and learn more, you know, for myself and to teach my skills and to learn from the people around me. So
What's the most fulfilling thing that you've done or you've gotten from the students since you've been doing it? If you have a memory or something that you can point out, this made you like, yeah, I did this today.
I got a text from someone, and I've never been on this end of it before, so it really means a lot to me. Let's see. I won't say who it is, but no, they came out to the Buddy Walk to support me and Matthew at ETSU, and I said, thank you, I appreciate your support. And he said, thanks for being a great teacher and wanting the best for us. Like that pulled at my heartstrings, and that means a lot to me. So
And things like that, you know what I'm saying, help you
Yeah.
fulfill it, help you just keep going and be like,
it
you know
helps
what?
me show up and be who I need to be every day.
Yeah, I'm giving
Hold
some
myself
purpose.
to a higher standard. So
That's big. That's major.
yeah.
Yep. How'd you feel about the podcast today? What did you think about it?
I'm just trying to overcome my nerves because of that. But other than that, I had a great time. I learned a lot. I enjoy just talking with you guys.
Yep, that's big. That's big. Well, you know, all good things got to come to an end, and I appreciate you guys. What's your last words, MI? What's your last words, Jay Bird? And
I mean, for the females, like she said, don't be scared. That's really what's going to hold you back in general in anything. If you're scared to try or just scared to do anything, it's going to be hard for you to overcome certain things. So just don't be scared to put yourself out there. I mean, if you want to be great, you'll be great.
what about you, Dante? What's your last words you want to say to the listeners out there?
87 different countries. Go ahead.
I pass it on to you.
No,
Go
you gotta say
ahead.
so.
You go ahead.
I'm thinking about how we end up talking about football either way, and I'm trying to find this near semi-pro team for men because Jordan got something coming. Need you on another team. We got to line up.
Yeah,
man.
big.
I'm putting him out for work for about 2 months. Bro.
I think everybody, again, just volunteer for a local, like the Buddy Walk. It's Special Olympics, right? Kids with disabilities, help out, volunteer with those things, and it will help you develop some soft skills that you didn't think that you had. And just try. And for the females out there, you are bosses too. I see you on the Clippers. We watching, and we love that you come into this industry. We need more of you guys coming in. You add different dimensions to the shop. You add different dimensions to the schools. Hey, keep doing what you're doing and keep climbing, because hey, we need you and we want you, because you guys help us step our games up. You guys can show us, and that's something with a great point you made earlier, Jess, that a lot of barbers don't realize. A lot of times, a lot of barbers, we are too rough. You got to be a little bit delicate. You press your clippers too hard sometimes. Your clippers are too sharp.
Scrape the back of my head.
Yeah.
I love a bald fade, but I
Yeah.
won't let some people give me a bald fade because
so-
they just scrape the back of my head.
And that's a good point for barbers out there who not know. You heavy-handed, dude.
I'll ask sometimes about, I'm like, well, how does it feel for me to cut your hair? And it's like real smooth. I'm like, all right, cool. I just need to know.
But that's something that we need to know, and that's why it's important for you to come on the podcast to drop gems like that, to let barbers earn the crown and realize, hey, you might be a little too heavy-handed. Everybody with that crisp lineup, but you don't have to have extra sharp clippers to have a crisp lineup. You just have to be proficient with what you do. Learn how to use your straight razor and get that sharp lineup. Learn some enhancements. You don't have to keep sawing on somebody's head. And that's what a lot of heavy-handed barbers do. So that's a great point, Jess. And that's coming from a boss female in this industry. Dante, we can't leave without you saying something to the fans out there and the people out there. You got to say something, man. You know, am I? He told you gotta go. Am I serious?
I know I'm froze up now. I'm froze
I
up.
mean,
Say something positive. Encourage. You've been through the challenge, the struggle.
I don't know. I feel like if you're a woman or a man, being a barber, it's just the experience. Don't let nobody pull you down. Just being a female trying to cut hair.
there it is. That wasn't difficult, was it?
Nah, not
Let's
too
see,
bad.
you see what I'm saying?
I froze up though.
No, you didn't freeze up. It just you said exactly what came to your mind, which was good. I appreciate that. And again, shout out to Colossal Brand for sponsoring the episode of Barber College Success. Shout out to FeedSpot for ranking us in the top 25 podcasts in the world, the top 5 podcasts in the United States. Shout out to FeedSpot again. We love you. We appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. And again, if you're trying to get into this industry, just go to a barber school or a cosmetology school near you and sign up. Hey, it's one of the best professions in the world. You'll love it. I guarantee you. It's going to make you meet. It's the things that you will do in this industry, the people that you will meet, and the places you will go. You can't put a price on that. It's not even about the price of the haircut that you get. That's the most gratifying in this industry. But the experience, the people who you will meet, and the places you will go takes it to the next level. And it's all love when we talking barbering. Barbers love to talk about the industry. It makes us feel good about what we do, and we always got plenty to say. Trust that, believe that. And again, shout out to Crown Cutz Academy. Sign up in Bristol, Virginia. Offer financial aid, the Pell Grants. We also offer the GI Bill. Sign up for Crown Cutz Academy in Johnson City, Tennessee. We'll make it do what we do. We got a new location, 7,500 square feet. We just added the gym and a game room to our facility. We're trying to give students as much value as possible. Also added the content creation class with the website building class, which starts tonight, by the way, for all the students who wants to sign up. Again, Crown Cutz Academy, Barber College Success, spreading love the Tri-City JC way. That's what they say, but we all know spreading love the Crown Cutz way is the only way. Peace.